not working for some reason.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, while you're working on that, I'm finishing this up.
You just have to have the voice.
All right.
I just can't use with that.
There we go.
Let's make sure. Award attempt.
Is that better?
Yep. There we go.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to do this.
See if that make sure that works. Oh, it should work.
Hello.
That's
folks,
what
and welcome
happens
to
when you
Random
hit
Acts
the
of
wrong
technical
button.
malfunctions.
That. All right. So that's set. That's set.
Hello.
Hello.
Will this ever go live?
Yes, it will. All right, let me get this on. Make sure this is working. All right, I think we're back. All right, and I don't think I stopped, so we're recording. So good. So, anyways, that's all part of the fun with that. Sorry, folks, we had a little time out there, and just made it so things were
a little time, just a little time,
So I'm just
all right. Start the damn show already.
All right, let me do this real quick, and then we will start the show and get on the way. I just want to make sure the links are where we're at. Okay, so I think we're there. Excellent. All right, everything should be hunky and or dory.
Hey, hunky,
chunky and dory. Chunky, hunky. And Dory. All right, good stuff. All right, folks, sorry for about the delay and me fumble fingering things. That's just, how things go. All right. So let me hit the button here. And we will be all set. Make sure we're recording. All right, folks, sit back, relax again. Get your favorite libation, your favorite snacks again. The Geocaching Podcast, Part 2. Is coming at you right now.
You want to know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. Come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. I cover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome to the Geocaching Podcast, episode 516, The Changing of the Seasons for Geocaching, recorded live on November 15th, 2017. I'm your host, Headhardhat with
Scott Bergs.
And Info Ferret.
You can join our chat room and watch our live video stream, plus participate with us as we record this episode. All this and more can be found at www.geocachingpodcast.com/live. Be sure to contact us via our voicemail line at 630-31-VOICE and find us on Twitter at geocachingpodcast.com/Twitter and Facebook at geocachingpodcast.com/Facebook. This episode is sponsored by our good patrons of the Geocaching Podcast. To become a contributing patron, simply click on the Patreon logo on our webpage to help keep our podcast going. From all of us at the Geocaching Podcast, we thank you. So, yeah, this is what happens when we get sidetracked and start talking on stuff. It was my fault. I brought it up.
Absolutely.
It was completely my fault. We have on our Geocaching Podcast, if you're watching us live now on the video, if not, step on over to the geocachingpodcast.com, and we have an award.
I was going to say the third best geocaching blog.
The third best out of 50 of the top geocaching websites and blogs.
So, Andy, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I've been doing this show now for over 4 years.
Yes, sir.
It was 4 years in October. Okay.
Yes.
I've been on many shows.
Yes.
I've done different topics.
Yes, Charles.
Have you been putting the title of the show all these years into that and I just never noticed, or did you do it just the first time today?
Just the first time today.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. No.
Has he been doing the title for 4 years? I totally tune you out, except when I hear your names and I'm next. But like I tune you out the rest of the time.
No. That's I think that was improv. Because I messed up before. I just wanted to give that much more of a quality.
Okay. I was just making sure I wasn't great. Okay.
I wing
Sure.
it. It's whatever comes out of this.
Hey, man, go for it.
Out of my face.
Change it up, man. Like I said, we're all just cogs here.
Mm-hmm.
This show will be still going on when we're all long gone.
Yeah, they will have running continuous loopage
Right.
on YouTube.
It's like Doctor Who, the show.
Yes, it just
With
goes.
hosts.
And now the Christmas special, and away you'll go. It's awesome. It'll be great. So yeah, good stuff. I ended up
We'll have a Christmas special. Daryl will come back for the Christmas
with his trowel. So yes,
and his new wife in tow. He got married.
What? Wait! Back the truck up. He got married.
Daryl got married. He sure
I
did.
didn't even hear.
Got married. He did.
Wow.
Little teeny tiny ceremony. I'm actually going there this weekend to celebrate with him.
Really? Well, congratulations to Daryl W4.
Daryl's got a bride.
He's got a bride.
Somebody married him.
Wow.
God bless him. God bless her.
One of the largest geeks on the planet. And he found somebody.
So everybody, there is hope for any geek out there.
There is hope.
You got Daryl.
Wow.
Oh, great. I might be able to get rid of my son sometime.
That's right, man.
God
bless him. God bless her.
That's right.
Oh, it's Renee. She's a great girl. So
excellent. Congratulations to both.
Me and Jesse are leaving on Friday, going up there to go see.
Oh, that's excellent. No, I did not know. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he got married.
Wow. Miracles do happen.
Oh, he's a man.
Well, good for them. That'll be great. And so, honey, this is how this works when we're out in. Yeah, I can see this already.
Oh, quickly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your life's over when you get married. Trust me.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
Trust me. That's what
Memories. Anyways, so yeah, not too much going on. As you can tell, I'm still a little bit nasally. I've had this dang cold for 3 weeks. And last weekend, I literally had to go to the doctors and get myself the magic shot. And some the steroid shot that they give you.
Oh, you got
the one with the needle that's about 8 inches long. You might feel a pinch. Yeah, I felt a pinch.
Did you get the?
Well, when they peeled you back off the ceiling.
Did you get the beloved Z-Pack or just?
Yes, I got the beloved Z-Pack as well.
You know, I love Z-Pack so much. It makes me so crazy. Literally. It literally like makes my mind goes bonkers that I have to remind myself and write it down. You're on a Z-Pack. I have these weird ass thoughts.
Stay away from the driving.
This is like, it's the Z-Pack. Relax. It'll be everything fine in 2 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
lots of stuff.
explain to you two on the show sometimes.
That's why Andy goes. Do you have this going right now?
That's right. We go back to past episodes. I can guarantee it. Oh yeah, so that's how it is. Today is actually the first day in 3 weeks I feel better. I feel less cold.
Oh, that's good.
So it's on the out and out, I hope, and going that way. But yeah, no fun. And it is cold here. What the heck?
Yeah. Cold here. Look, I got a fire going in the background. It's freezing here.
It's very cozy.
Yeah, it's nice.
We have brilliant sunshine and blue skies and little white clouds. And...
So how are your parents, Sarah?
Oh, they're fine. They're up the coast. Haven't done anything.
I thought they were like living with you.
Oh God, no! We kill each other.
Right?
My mother and I are too alike. But so if you ever hear a police report, it'll be my mother and I are in a stand-up fight.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, but I mean, we're great. We get on great, but we each need our own space.
Yeah.
Is that when you were a kid as well? Was you like that when you were a kid too?
I could get into all sorts of trouble by
when they sit there, pause, and do that.
How can I word this?
At least I don't have a middle name, so I can't do the. You're in real trouble when your mother pops out your middle name. I don't have one, unfortunately. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
But, no, I went up there at the weekend, picked up. I was staying up there because I had to go to a meeting on a Sunday in Wykenai, which is about 5 miles away from where my parents live. So I thought, and Paul needed the car to go somewhere else. So I borrowed one of their bikes and cycled along on the way to the meeting and back. And I certainly knew I hadn't been on a bike for a year. my legs ached and the saddle, and I'm not used to a saddle anymore. And sod's law happened.
Wait. Did you say a saddle?
Yes, for a bike.
Yeah, bike saddle.
See, Scott, for people like me, when I sit on a bike saddle, all you hear is.
Are we talking about like the old 1970s banana seat saddle?
Yes.
We're talking about like just a seat.
Bit wider than that. But it was.
I'm gonna need some visuals here on a bike saddle. I'm gonna need some.
You're not.
Scott, think of Queen.
There are certain things that are not to be shared.
Just think of the gold cover on Queen and go with that. All right.
I'm thinking banana seed. Is what I'm thinking. Just banana seed. Sorry,
it's all for the fun. Sorry. Anyways, yeah. So
I had to break in on that. I've never heard of that before. In fact, I'm googling bike saddle right now. Just a second.
There you go. Good stuff. So, did your legs ever get better, Miss Sarah?
Yeah, but the best story from the week: alternative LEO encounter.
Oh, really?
I had a multi to go and fetch, and I'd worked out what I needed to do to get the log. But I really thought I could use a second person to give me a hand on this. So I phoned a friend and said, I'm going out to get this one. Do you want to come? Oh yeah, she says, but I might have the police with me. And I thought, hang on. And it turns out that what happens here is if you get a shot, is that her brother was getting his shotgun license renewed. And as part of the process here, they do sort of background checks and check family members and no links to gangs, no convictions for violent crimes, and the various conditions on whether you can have a shotgun license or not. But anyway, the guy came out to interview my friend about her brother. But fortunately, he'd left by the time I got there. Otherwise, can you imagine sort of going, hey, I'm going to take you out into the middle of nowhere to pick up a suspicious package.
Yeah, what could happen?
Explain that.
What could happen?
Yeah.
So you actually have to have a license for a shotgun then.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got a shotgun license. I'm not up with the process. No, you've got to have
that here in the States.
Do we for the rifles?
I know you hand them out with cereal packets.
Well, yeah, they come in our favorite bowls of Captain Crunch and other assorted fruited cereals that
in the States we don't have to have a license for that.
I didn't know if you had one for a shotgun or not.
I have no idea.
Oh, never mind.
So meanwhile, I just figured out a bike saddle is just a pad for your seat.
Yeah,
that's a pad. How is that a saddle?
It's always known as a saddle
because a bicycle pad doesn't sell well.
No, it's called a padded seat for your. It's called a pad for your. Okay.
I call it a savior.
All right, it's a saddle. All right. What do you call it?
It's a savior for mine. Either way.
For any ass.
Yeah, I know. Anything where I don't lose the actual seat itself, I'm happy. So.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff. Glad the LEO worked out because normally when Scott says I'm going geocaching, the police automatically call him and say, "So, whereabouts are you going to be?"
Right. I haven't been LEO in a long time.
Yeah.
You know why? I'll tell you why. It's because they all know what it is now.
Yeah, I know it. It takes all the fun out of it.
Really, I'm not like so suspicious anymore.
Yeah.
Especially because most of the cops know the cache is already there, and so they see a guy with a flashlight in that area, they're like, "Oh, it's cache."
Yep. All right, let's move on. The podcast roundup, letting our viewers know what's going on in the geocaching podcasting community. And what's coming up this week on Geo Gearheads is Travelers 4 after nearly 2 years off.
Hey, Andy.
Yes, sir.
Where did Geo Gearheads wind up on that list?
I didn't see their name. Daryl. But I will say Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, was number 5.
Of course, does Joshua know about it?
I don't know if he does or not, but yeah, we took 3 and 4. That's all I'm happy about. I mean, Sonny and Sandy, they just automatically get assumed.
Right, where is this list that you speak of?
If you go to our website, geocachingpodcast.com, on the right hand side,
you're literally telling me the domain.
Well, we're on podcast, so I can tell other people so they can go watch. But you click on the award there.
Uh-huh. It'll take me to the list of
take you to the site.
Awarded top 50 geocaching. But did you create this, or was this?
No, I did not create this. Somebody sent it to me.
Oh, they actually sent it to you.
Yeah, and they said if you're one of the 50, by all means, take one of our honorary gold awards here and put it on your website. So I did.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Sure enough. Okay, all right. Continue with your.
Anyways, so
right, I'm
after
after
nearly 2 years off, the geocaching.com trackables take center stage on this week's Geo Gearheads. The last show 2 years ago must have been a really rough one if they had to take 2 years off to come back.
Who did?
For the Travelers 4 show for Geo Gearheads.
Oh.
Yes, they took 2 years off the geocaching.com. Yep. So they take center stage. Let's see. On Thursday, GeoSnippets Reboot Podcast. This week, wife Amy and I discussed geocaching, writing utensils, and why do we keep forgetting them? And also things like geocache quality versus quantity and other good stuff. So be sure to check out the GeoSnippets Reboot Podcast, which got 4th out of the 50.
I'm 20 in already, and I still don't see Daryl.
I don't see Daryl either. Just
my Land Monkey's 22. Even a Land Monkey.
I know it. I know it. So anyway, so let's move on to we've got nothing for the GCPC mailbag. If you've got something that you want to bring to our attention,
what's up with that? Come on.
I know it. We have on my show we have Sad Amy. Now we have Sad Scott.
What's up with that?
Because he doesn't have anything to sit there and encounter.
I got mail! Yay! I got mail! Yay!
No,
we just do it because it's fun. So he's got nothing to talk about. So we have Sad Scott now for things like that. And then for news, let's do that. No, I'll take that one.
The news.
Okay, InfoFair was kind enough to put this in. We have, like last year, they had on December 31st and January 1st, you were able to get 2 different souvenirs. Well, they're doing the same thing on geocaching.com this year, and we'll have a link in the show notes. But they state 2017 has been a fun year for geocaching. We celebrated 3 million active geocaches, went geocaching around the globe with Where's Signal the Frog, and found pirate booty. Let's see, with the lost treasure of Mary Hyde, but it's time to start looking ahead. Let's make 2018 the best year ever. To get us off to a good start, they're announcing 2 new souvenirs, one to celebrate your last cache of 2017 and one to celebrate your first cache of 2018.
They did this a couple of years ago, if I recall.
Was it last year, was it, or the year before?
It was 2 years ago. I think it was
Could
2.
be. Let's see. Number 1, this is how you get both souvenirs. Number 1, find a geocache or attend an event on December 31st, 2017 to earn the last cache of 2017 souvenir. On number 2, find a geocache or attend an event on January 1st, 2018 to earn the first cache of 2018 souvenir. Pretty darn basic, I think. For cases like that.
My goal for 2018 to get a geocaching thing.
Yes.
So get a cache on December 20th.
We will promote it, sir. You get that out. We will promote the snot.
You think Groundspeak will give that to me?
We are number 3 out of 50.
Right? I got some clout here.
We got clout. We're going to use it.
They will call and they will take my call.
That's right. Dang it, Brian. Just saying, sir. Yeah, it'll work. So anyways, let me know how that happens. And we will
let me know that works out for you, guys. Right. Sorry.
Good stuff. So let's see. Tonight's episode 516, the changing seasons of geocaching. And yes, I want to thank Sarah for coming up with a cool idea for this. Basically, we just want to talk about since we do talk about the weather all the time. We love it. It's great. We love hearing about other people's sorrows and miseries, and then how to basically make fun of the ones that are having better weather.
So we like to listen to Sarah's sorrow and misery, because when she's miserable, it means it's summer here.
Exactly.
So we like Sarah's misery.
It's such a beautiful summer here, or coming into the tail end of spring.
And she sucks, but that's how it is.
But at least we don't have You've got the cyclones and the really interesting weather.
Yeah.
Well, if it go big or go home, that's all it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, hey, you get that stuff too. You get earthquakes and volcanoes and Mount Doom and frickin' what is it?
Hey, yesterday was yesterday was the first anniversary of the Kaikoura quake. So
Whatever that is.
fortunately, that went off nice and peacefully.
Which
Wait,
one
doesn't she
was?
live in the land of? Doesn't she live in like the land of
Yeah.
hobbits?
That was
Yeah,
the one where
Don't the trees walk and shit where she lives?
Yeah, they walk the ants. They got all that stuff
Look,
there.
what have you been stopping?
What?
I didn't hear that. I mean, they got frickin' Xena.
No, you not got Xena. She's over with you guys at the moment.
The hell's a Xena? What the hell's that?
For what now?
Somewhere.
We're talking about the warrior princess?
Yeah. Come on, hot leather. Give me a break.
Oh, God.
In her ring of
All
right, so what's top today?
So the topic today is talking about weather for all time and how it changes geocachers. And
Absolutely.
how things go, and it does.
Yeah, I live in Chicago. I got all 4 seasons here. So
yes, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, springtime in Wellington, we can have 4 seasons in one day.
Well, that's Michigan as well. Chicago, Michigan, same thing.
Yeah.
You still there? Because you are.
So let me start off with this. What is the weather that you will absolutely not go geocaching? Will not go out. I mean, shy of plague and volcanic ash
Zombies.
and zombies.
Nothing. I'll go out. Doesn't matter. I've done it all. I've gone in freezing rain.
I have. Peeing down with rain and sort of the wind blowing it horizontal.
Yeah.
Peed on rain. That's a term there.
I've had beard frozen. Like, oh yeah. I'll cache anything.
Yeah. Now see, I can take most of it. I'm not very much into the high heat, hot heat. I can't take that. I love the cold, but I don't love is that my nose on the ground cold? That
there's. I didn't say I was going to cache. I didn't say I was going to cache very long. I just said I'd cache. I didn't say all day. The same thing. I mean, it's like 110. I mean, I'm pretty miserable. I'm not going to go up very long just because I can't hump that much water.
Yeah.
So it'll be a couple of short trips or parking grabs. Or it could be parking grabs for they got the AC in the car. But same thing with the cold. As long as you bundle up. I mean, I don't usually go into the woods during the winter all that much. I mean, I mostly parks and stuff like that. Hikes unless if there's no snow on the ground, that's one thing. But there's snow on the ground, it's not worth it. Your feet get cold way too quick. It's nothing worse than cold feet and you're a mile from the car.
Well, they do have boots and things.
Oh, of course they do, but like they're gonna get cold eventually. Yeah.
No, I have to admit, there's times where I will go out. There won't be a cloud in the sky midday on a cold day in January with just a slight wind out walking in the woods. I love the sound of that. I love being out there with the quiet and hearing the trees creak and crack and all the rest of it because they're frozen and all that stuff.
Right now, too, is a good time, too. Right now with all the swishing of the leaves as you walk and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. But if it's too hot, it's just not good for me. It's just one of those things.
I don't do lots of heat well either.
Yeah.
So tail end of January, February, when it's sort of up around the hundreds in your money, that's for a couple of weeks. That's too hot for me.
Yeah. And of course, wife Amy
having an amazing summer because we had a crap one last year.
Oh, I hope you get a good one. Just don't tell us about it. That's all.
I've never said it's too something.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
I've never done that. I've never done that.
Amy, my wife, has a range of 6 degrees. If it's above 78 or below 72, forget it. It's just not going to work.
You parking grabs, man. It's in the AC car. That's all.
That's it. Or the ever popular. You go get it, dear. Yeah. Okay. No problem, honey. Yeah, always part of the fun. So, what's your favorite though? Is there any particular season that you like going?
No.
Any and all, huh?
Fall. No, fall now. Right now.
Yep. I do love the fall. I love it when the air is crisp. Yeah. There's nothing quite like it.
That's about the only time I get UK homesick because most of the forests here are evergreen. So when it comes to autumn time and the leaves just basically stay where they are. and nothing happens.
So do the
And then every
Christmas
so often
lights
I'll
turn
see an
on by
introduced European
themselves?
tree
And
that's
the Aurora Borealis shows up all by magical by itself.
no,
and
we
all the
plug
rest
them into the mains. Like, well, we have a tree called the Putakawa, which actually flowers around early to late, flowers around December, and that's known as New Zealand's Christmas tree. Because it's in bloom around Christmas.
Very nice. Very nice. The thing that, you know, I a lot of the geocachers that I've met over the years, a lot of them are what I would consider, like myself, fair weather geocachers, where it's, you know, got to be pretty decent conditions for the go out. And then the complete opposite. And yes, Dave, I'm going to mention Dave DeBear. He is from Canada. And that man will go out when there is 18 feet of snow, if there's a hurricane, if you have to swim the trail to get to it. It doesn't matter what the weather is. That man would be out in full gear geocaching.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends who do that. I would never say no, you know, but I mean, the hardest part is like when it snows.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sarah. What do you say?
I was going to say, I've got to know a couple of guys around here. One guy's on about something like day 1600 of his geo streak, so he will go out irrespective. He is totally insane on that. Nice guy, but
yeah,
he makes me seem like normal.
Andy, I don't know if you've ever
for everything else. He'll go. He'll leave the house at 3 a.m. if there's a new cache published 50 miles away.
There you go.
Andy, I don't know if you've ever, have you ever cached in snow? Have you ever cached in snow?
Oh, yeah.
Over
Absolutely.
I mean, over your knees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I went to Michigan many times because all my family's up there.
Like and that's just, I mean, it's so tiring. I mean, you cache in snow.
Yeah, it's kind of like walking through when you're on a beach and you're walking in the water,
right?
And the sand is like, you know, knee deep. Or half deep, and you're just kind of drudging through. Yeah, and if you've got any kind of terrain that you've got hills, even small ones, molehills and stuff, walking up and down. My favorite is sticking my foot in a hole that I didn't know was there. That kind of fun stuff. You know, so I never come out of a snowy hike pristine. It's just not going to happen.
Jesse and I got snowshoes a couple of years ago, and those have really like been a godsend, and they're awesome for caching because, like, it's hard when you're, you know, when you're up to your knees and you're trying to get through that stuff, and even a cache that's 500 feet away, you are just huffing and
puffing. Yeah, that's
there,
work,
you know,
solid work,
sweating and huffing and puffing, and you know,
and it's like and if it's cold out where you've got a wind chill and all the rest of it, and for guys like us that have a mustache and beard, and by the time you're out, you look like ZZ Top because of all the ice that had built up. It's fun.
But
so, about the only time I had that was years ago, when as a present to myself for passing my accountancy finals, mumble years ago, I went skiing for 10 days in Lake Louise in Canada. God, that was freeze your bits off cold. And if your hair got wet, there was a hot pool on the roof, and if you sat in that and your hair got wet, it froze to your scalp. So yeah, I know what. I'm quite happy that we don't get it that cold normally.
Yeah, but you see, in the States, I don't know if they have them in New Zealand, but we have hot tubs, which are basically stews for people, and they do it all winter. They'll get out there and you know.
We used to do it all the time. My brother-in-law had one. We used to outside. We used to go out New Year's Eve. We used to go every New Year's Eve. We used to get in the hot tub.
Yep.
Well, when I was skiing that time, I remember one night it was minus 30 something. I took a photograph of it of the thermometer because I knew nobody else would believe me if I didn't. And I was sitting in the hot tub, and there was a couple of gypsies, but they'd sort of parboil themselves for a bit, and then they'd suddenly get out and go and jump in the snowdrift and roll around in it.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
It opens your pores.
You would dunk your head in the hot tub and then you'd put your head up because you're sitting, you're sitting about, chest high in the water and your hair would freeze immediately.
Yeah.
Your icicles. You'd have icicles in your hair. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, people are strange. What can I say?
But winter is obviously it's a very different caching here, and we've talked about this before in the past. Chicago winters are very different caching than a Chicago summer, because it's a whole different game, more or less. Your bag is different, what you wear is different, what you bring is different, how you hunt is different.
Well, yeah, and there's so many different things now. If you go, mid Michigan up, when it comes to stuff like that, there's actually the height level of geocaches changes from season to season, because if it's spring, you've got to keep it probably about maybe chest high, waist to chest high, because of the flooding, to keep it flowing away that way. If it's winter and you're in the upper part of the state, that sucker can go up a tree when it comes to how much people want to keep it going, if they want to keep it going to the winter, because it could just literally 10-15 feet up in a tree is like walking up to it because the snow gets so high.
Yeah, one of the big perks of caching where I do in the Midwest in the cold, where it gets cold, is that all those 5.5s on the islands, that's when you go. That's when you hit the island caches.
You walk to them.
Walk right to them. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one of the perks you get, is you just wait out those island caches till the winter, and then you just walk over to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and if it gets too, go ahead.
I was going to say, we tend not to get snow in the winters. We get it. There's the ski resorts, so Mount Ruapehu area in central North Ireland, and a small ski field on Mount Taranaki. But most of the skiing is down on the South Island, around Queenstown, Wanaka, Nelson Lakes. Fabulous territory. But no, we can, if you don't mind wind and rain and it being dark, we can cache most of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's like North Carolina. I mean, we get the occasional heavy snowfall, which is like 1.5 inches. Like I said, last year was the first time in 10 years I actually purchased a snow shovel because of the possibility of this one particular storm they were talking about.
And did you put it on eBay now? Is it on eBay now?
I was thinking about it. It's pristine except for one little gouge that I might have scraped the sidewalk with. But other than that, some of the guys in the chat room were saying, one of the things that you want to make sure if you're walking around in the winter for geocaching, wear orange, because of hunting season, and that is wise.
If you're a wimp.
It is wise to
wear orange. Yeah, don't be stupid. Well, if there's hunting in that, I mean, a lot of the forests I go into, there's no hunting. So, but if there's hunting, that'd be smart. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to take a chance. And down south here, wear orange and neon with lights and different types of things, because you can't ever be too careful. Matter of fact,
you're in the south.
Yeah, you're in the south. If it moves, it gets shot at. But they literally and that's just on the freeway. I'm just saying. Well,
actually, orange, the hybrid vests around here are known as Canterbury Camo.
God
really?
Yeah, because there's been so much
rumor has it,
Andy, so all the builders wear them.
Rumor has it you're going to rise again one day.
Really?
That's what I hear. South's going to rise again one day.
All right, that's good. Don't blame me. I'm a Yankee. I'm just saying. I just live here. But what
Yankee cheap clothing is what you are.
Yes, he does, and that's why I keep hearing gunshots.
Right?
One of the things they started was having hunting season on Sundays. Before, geocaching down here was safe on Sundays because hunting was purely not allowed. Not so much anymore. They started it up to do it. So on 24/7 now, to make sure you wear those vests when you're out there during hunting season. Because I think now they started Cannon. I'm not sure which one they've got now open today, started for hunting. But because you got down here, you got flintlock, you've got, blow darts. They got all sorts of things for hunting.
Blow darts? What are you killing with a blow dart?
Hey, whatever goes on.
You're killing a deer with a blow dart?
They've got everything down here.
tribal. I don't know what are they? Tribal
Whatever
guy from
it is, you got to get out and get your primate.
Lulu tribe with a blow dart. What are you doing? Really? Doing the buffaloes over there? What are you killing?
Yeah, that's all part. Like I said, it's the South. Just.
So let's. Do you have to get a license for blow dart, Andy, just out of curiosity?
Yes, you do. Actually, you have to have your tips checked. And
ding, come on, yeah, on that one for that one.
You do get it ding.
So I want to go through. Let's think about the worst part of each season here of caching. Okay, if you've got, we'll start with winter.
All right.
Okay, obviously, no, kind of sucks.
Frostbite.
Frostbite, yes. Dark early, a huge one right there. Dark sucks. Yes.
Yes.
Dark at 4 o'clock is really annoying. Yes, agreed.
Wind
then we get to spring.
And not as many people.
Say cold, and we're
done.
Not as many to find. Yeah, accessibility, absolutely.
Yep.
Then we go to spring. Let's talk about spring. What's the worst part of spring?
Snakes.
Well, I don't have snakes. I'm in Illinois.
All right, for most of humanity that actually lives someplace that isn't on Paradise Island.
How about ticks?
Ticks or something. Actually,
ticks.
They said Lyme disease.
We have wind.
You have wind?
Wind is a factor.
Hell yeah, if you're up on the hills.
I guess.
It's not that the wind is blowing, it's what
it's the sort of thing of if it's blowing a gale, I'm not going out if I don't have to.
If it's blowing a gale? Why? Is it gonna blow you? Is it like 40 miles an hour? What kind of wind are we looking at?
We're talking up to about 100k.
I have no idea what 100k is in America.
70,000 miles an hour.
70,000.
Look, we're talking hurricane force, heading towards hurricane force.
Really?
Okay.
You have hurricane winds? Really?
Occasionally, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't go out either. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Fair. Then again, down here we have hurricane parties.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just saying.
So we got ticks and we've got snakes in the spring.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Not really. A little more on the wet side. Things are thawing.
Yeah, definitely wet. I'll give you that. Yes.
Yeah.
Moist.
Yeah. Certain critters are a little more ornery than others. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's
summer. Bad part of summer. What's the worst of summer?
Heat. Hydration.
Yeah, absolutely heat.
Yeah.
Got to keep hydrated.
Again.
Depending on where you are, mad tourists on the road. Come on, geocachers are the only ones that are should be allowed to drive badly.
Yeah, but
I don't know how it is.
Muggles everywhere.
Late summer in Chicago is when the spiders come out, like August.
Oh yeah,
so you'll have spider webs going across trees. So basically you have to take your walking stick and just walk like this, and just as you're walking through the woods, because you will get a mouthful of spider and or spider web.
Depending on where you are, sandflies.
Mosquitoes is one that came up from the chat room.
Yeah, good one.
Michigan mosquitoes, man, those suckers, they'll just pick you up and drag you someplace for later. It is not good.
Yeah, I remember I once
on the West Coast.
I once saw more mosquitoes I've ever seen them. More mosquitoes I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. It was just the more than I've ever seen. It was just a wall, literally, and the cache was about 100 feet, like, just ran for it, and just ran.
Oh my!
And got it. It's one of the weirdest things. I've never seen anything like that before.
In the summer, if you're unlucky, wasps.
Oh,
sure. Yeah, wasp. Good one. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Wasps, late summer, early autumn.
LPC's got the wasps in them. Yeah. The LPCs and the baseball bleachers. Those got the wasps. Yeah. All right. So what do we got? Now we got fall. What's the worst part of fall?
And black flies is another one. Let's see. Fall. I don't know too much.
Autumn.
It's shy of again.
Autumn. Yes. Autumn. Sorry. Yes.
Things. Yeah. Sorry. Things get a little wet again.
I was gonna say again with the moist. Yeah. Again wet. Yes.
Yeah. Because nothing is more fun than going down a 45-degree angle on a hill on pine straw that's wet.
I know, right?
Just saying. You have your own slippy slide like you never wanted.
It's sort of March through to about May. It's okay generally with us. It's the nights are it's slowly getting darker and darker, so the days are getting shorter.
Yeah.
But it's usually not too wet, and the winds have died down. So, it's probably about the best chance you've got of getting a decent day.
Yeah.
Albeit not as long as you'd like.
That's surprising because like here, like
so you can drive.
Here you've got like here in fall in Chicago, like God, about less than a month ago, we had an 80-degree day. It was a beautiful day. We were out caching. Yeah, the sun went down at 5 o'clock.
That's the thing. By the time I get home from work, it's done.
Yeah, right. So it was like the day was over by 5:30 tops. Like in terms of daylight. But I mean, fall is my favorite time to cache. It's my favorite any time. But like, especially caching, it's if you're getting out there and but I also like spring just because summer's coming. That's the only thing that's nice about spring is that summer's almost here.
That's it. Well, like I said, the people in the time when the weather's colder, all they do is complain on how cold it is, and then when the heat comes out, all they do is complain on how hot it is. So
I know
nobody's great with
how windy it is, or how foggy it is, or how dark it is. Come on.
Yeah,
I know
it gets that way.
But it's still, I mean, summer. I mean, obviously, summer's nice because it's sun doesn't go down until 9 o'clock. I mean, you can just cache forever. Out in the woods forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff when you go out now. I don't.
Years ago.
Go ahead.
Before I got the caching, I got an invite up to Orkney, which is one of the islands off the north coast of Scotland, and that was sort of July-ish, so it was just past the longest day. But when I was there, it was the sun went down at 11:30 at night, and you could still read the paper, and the sun came up again at about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
That was quite something. Hate to be there in winter though.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 months of darkness and all the rest of that. Yeah.
I mean, I leave work now and it's dark. I don't want to leave.
Well, yeah, a lot of folks in the northern states. I never realized that when I was living in Michigan, I actually got SADS. I used to get what they call the February blues because you get up, it's dark. You go to work, it's dark. You're there all day. You come home, it's dark. And you don't see the sun for what seems like eternity. And for some people, after a while, they start developing SADS where everybody gets moody and depressed and all the rest of that. And in Michigan, when you've got 6 months of winter, it's that's one of the things to get depressed about. Down here in North Carolina, if it's more than 3 days of cloudy, people start getting SADS. So,
the funny thing is that like here in Chicago, everybody was mentioning today, like the sun was out. Like the sun has not been out for probably a week here.
Yeah, it's like, what is this orb?
The sun's been good. We haven't had the sun at all for like a week.
Yeah,
because it's been cloudy and just miserable. So like, see, like, I'm like, is that the sun? Oh, the sun! Look, everybody, it's the sun.
Yeah.
Come outside, it's the sun.
Yep.
Strange yellow object.
What is that strange yellow object?
Yes. And of course, there's no heat from it there, so that's fine. Here we get heat. So
I'm one of the people I have to change my caching bag. The rubber mallet goes into the car, and the car. I have a winter. I have a geocaching like a box, so to speak, a crate that has that I switch out summer and winter stuff. I do. I literally do. I change, I mean, I got to have a blanket in the car in the wintertime in the trunk, blanket in the trunk, rubber mallet for those LPCs are in the trunk because those things freeze release. Shovels in the trunk, a tiny one and a bigger one.
Did you ever have to bring, because I literally had one of those mining hammers. Did you ever have to crack one out of ice before to get to it? Or like actually chip it out. Yeah, chip out the ammo box
when they're in the crotch of the tree.
Yeah,
those always freeze in. Oh yeah, those freeze in. Oh yeah, but if you get one of those small shovels, you
oh
yeah, easy, like a dowel kind of, but it's a shovel, like an army shovel.
Yeah,
like one of those. Yeah. Oh yeah, get those out with that.
Well, like you said, snowshoes. There's all sorts of things that you have to remember when you go out with that.
Snowshoes are a godsend if you're in the cold weather. Oh yeah, that makes it. It's like it's walking normally compared to walking like in water. That's the difference. I mean, it's a big difference. On how long you're actually going to cache for. Whether it's an hour or 4 hours.
Yeah, because once your pants get wet or something, it's done.
Oh yeah, once you're wet, you're wet. Yeah, but ain't nothing worse than having wet jeans on when you're caching.
No, you don't wear, unless I'm going through gorse or spiky bushes, I don't wear jeans. I tend to have a fair pair of lightweight hiking trousers that cover my legs so I don't get sunburned.
Oh, we have to
That
have stronger than
And
that.
if they get,
That one it's 15 degrees
they get
outside.
wet, they get dry.
When it's 15 degrees out, you can't
Well,
wear
in
light.
that case, I put a pair of polyprops underneath or a merino leggings or something, and it gives me the warmth.
Is she speaking English?
I don't even know what she said.
I don't know what
A
a
merino
polyprop
base
is.
layer will do a lot
I
of
heard
things.
poly
a lot of
something.
things.
That's all I heard.
Yeah.
She wears Polly Pockets and
Polypropylene,
Ah,
polyprops.
is that what you make fires with? Probably polypropylene.
I bet that's what we stain with. Is
Right.
Okay, pair of merino long johns, if that makes more sense to you.
all right. Well, red woolies, those are good.
Break out
That's
your
a marine, different kind of marine pants. I'm just saying.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
merino from wool from the sheep. You know, those little things that white things that go bar.
We don't have those here.
No.
No, we don't. We don't have the big horned sheep and stuff that you could just walk up and shear and then make your own. And we can't do that.
Well, you
Yeah,
could, but
that's
you
the
get shot
I
by
thought
the
you were about
farmer.
to say something else, so that it wouldn't be the family-friendly show at all.
Yeah, the neighbor with the alpaca really didn't appreciate that, but that's that's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put like on geocaching day, I will wear long underwear under my jeans, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cold, but especially and if I'm out caching. But still, I wouldn't wear like I have caching pants I wear in the summertime, which are basically like what the hell are they, like the North Face, the thin ones, the really thin hiking pants.
Yeah,
But I don't wear
that's the
those.
thing I wear.
I won't wear them in the winter.
Yeah.
Too
Well, I
cold.
wear those pretty much.
I've seen Scott
That's
walk
pretty
in.
much year round.
Yeah.
You what?
I wear those pretty much year round, and as I say, if it's winter, I'll put a layer underneath them.
Yeah, because I've seen Scott walk in frozen water in winter and go with that. So it's like
What?
very little phases him. It's like you're in your tennis shoes, dude.
Yeah. Come on.
Dry feet are overrated. That's my caching motto.
Ugh. Yeah, but then I'm a guy, so if I get wet feet, next comes the athlete's foot, and that's the nightmare.
Oh yeah, see that's a whole thing.
Whole week is just a nightmare.
Yeah. For me, the bottom of my feet just turned to like Play-Doh and just kind of
Right. Yeah.
It's no good.
It's like my feet, like me and athlete's foot. It's like my feet get wet and boom. It's like just boom. Yeah, it's horrible. So I try to keep my feet dry as much as possible.
That's right.
Huh?
What's he sponsoring this show?
All right. So any final thoughts? We didn't even touch geocaching maintenance. We need to do a whole show on things like that. Have you ever seen a pen freeze? I've had people talk forever about pens freezing, and I've never come up to a pen that's actually been in like an ammo can in the winter and froze. Now I have seen a couple where they have actually split, where maybe it expanded enough and went that way. So in the spring, you've got this nice inky mess at the bottom of your...
Well, what do you mean by like, I've never seen that, but what do you mean by freeze? I mean, I've tried a pen and it didn't work.
Right.
Does that mean frozen?
Yeah.
Then,
And that's happened too, where they've frozen and you can't use them.
Yeah, I've had that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you put pencils. You put pencils in the geocache.
Exactly.
Not a pen. Pencil will
That's
always.
why I carry several spares.
And I have a pen in my car. So.
Oh yeah. Well, you keep
That's
next to
no
the
use
heater.
if you're 5 miles up the trail.
Oh, that's true. Well, okay. Well, then I have a pen in my pocket. I carry a couple pens in my pocket.
Yeah.
Actually, I have really thin Bics. I don't use a pen. I use a Bic, like the markers. Like the really thin markers.
Yeah, little markers.
Mhm.
The one thing I would want to suggest for people, depending on the season with the geocache, if you've got a geocache that's outside that you put in the spring or in the summer where the green is everywhere and it's lush bushes and all the rest of it, in the winter, it is not the same thing. It might be just an ammo can standing in the woods.
But on the same token, Andy,
yes,
if you hide a cache in the winter, which I think is the best time to hide a cache,
right?
Because then you have the best kind of camo, because it's just gonna, if you can't see it in the winter, you definitely ain't seeing it in the summertime.
Yeah.
But if you hide something in the winter, okay, you better go back and check the terrain in the summertime, because the terrain can be very, very different in the winter.
Including poison ivy.
Yes, very different. So You know, it might be a 1.5 in the winter, but it's a 4 in the summertime, you know.
And actually, in a lot of the upper states, it's the other way around. It's a 1.5, 2 in the summertime, and it's a 4 in the winter. That's why a lot of people disable their geocaches. There is nothing like trying to go find a geocache where you've got 4-foot snowbanks, trying to get where they're at. So a lot of times they'll just
I do the majority of my hiding in the wintertime, believe it or not, for some reason. Just because, again, like I say, if I find a good spot and I can't see it now, I'll wait till spring, you know, and push it, and that'll get weathered in, and it's invisible, and now it's a cockeyed. Hello. You know.
Yes. Very, very true. All right. Well, good stuff. And like I said, the season's changed, and so do we. A lot of those things, people have their favorites and ones that they don't, and geocaches change. Just keep in mind, especially times where the weather seems to be the most extreme is where geocaches have the most chance of failure for things like that. There's nothing like using that hiking pole when you're in the middle of winter, hitting that plastic, and it just
ping ping. You're like,
yes.
Hit that ammo can.
The ammo can's great. The lock and lock box, not so much.
No, they poke a hole in it.
Yes, bring that duct tape. I'm just saying. Yeah, good things to keep in mind. All right, well, folks, thank you so much for stopping on by, and thanks to Scott and Sarah for everything that they do. Thanks for putting up with the mess in the beginning of the show. Andy, stop hitting the big red button. I'm just saying.
Don't hit the big red button.
Don't hit the big red button. All right, thank you, folks, for stopping on by, and we will see you next week on the Geocaching Podcast. Let's tell them this stuff right here. Please be sure to join us each and every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the Geocaching Podcast, right here on the Geocaching Podcast website at www.geocachingpodcast.com/live. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on our home website, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please visit us through our social media sites or contact us via our voicemail line at 630-31-VOICE. The Geocaching Podcast is a Headhardhat production. It is produced by Andy Smith, Scott Burks, Chad Courtney, and Sarah T.S. This show is copyright 2017 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. And clear. All right.
Nice timing on that cough.
Just made it. Good stuff. All right, folks, we'll have a good one. Be careful out there. The weather is a changing, and we will see you next week, fine folks, at the Geocaching Podcast. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.